Hey guys, Trin here. So, I am starting something I am very excited for, which I am coining Trin's Telly Recap. Telly is abbreviation for television for anyone who is not Australian. So, what I thought that I would do is we just talk about everything I'm watching right now. Because I was considering maybe being one of those people that like react to shows. Um, but what I'm gonna film myself every single time I watch television. I think that's a bit difficult. So I just decided to do this instead, where we can just chat, yap, recap, hence Trin's Telly recap about all of the shows I'm watching. So I watch a lot of shows, mainly Asian shows, a lot of Asian dramas. I love Asian dramas. I watch Western TV as well, but I just thought that maybe I would stick to the Asian dramas for this series. Um, if I feel like mentioning a Western show, then maybe I will, but um, today's episode's just Asian shows. That's all I've got to talk about today, and I'll be talking about them in different length. So I've got one show that's completed, so that one will probably get spoken about for a little bit longer, but then I've got other shows today that are like, oh, I'm only a couple of episodes in, or I'm literally one singular episode in, so they won't get spoken about for as long of a time. And some shows will get spoken about more than once, especially if they're not completed. So the completed one today is not going to get spoken about again after today because I finished it. But like, say I was 3 episodes into a show. Next time I want to do one of these recaps, I'll probably mention that show again because I'll be further along, and then we can chat about how I feel about what's gone on in those episodes. Do you get my drift? So let's start with the completed show. So I watch all types of dramas. Probably the most amount that I've watched are K dramas and Thai BLs. But I will also watch a Thai show that isn't a BL. I like Japanese shows as well. I like Chinese shows as well. I've been starting really heavily getting into like Chinese historical dramas. Because one of the shows today is a Chinese historical drama, which I just became obsessed with, and now I just want to watch all of them, which is going to be very difficult to do so. But I would like to just make my way through them because I absolutely love them. So let's just start with the one that is completed. We'll probably be talking about this one for the longest amount of time. So, Pursuit of Jade. This is 40 episodes. It's on Netflix. It's a Chinese historical romance drama, action packed, sword fighting, all of that good stuff. And I just became obsessed. Like, this had me obsessed and made me now want to go down a rabbit hole of specifically Chinese historical shows or like fantasy shows. Not that I'm not open to modern shows, but I think I'm just like, I want to watch stuff that's similar to Pursuit of Jade. So a modern show's just not really going to give me what I want it to give me because that's clearly nothing like Pursuit of Jade. So I just adore it, and I found my favorite Chinese actor, Zhang Ling-he. Like, okay, I've basically only ever watched like one other Chinese drama, but I've just already decided. Like, Zhang Ling-he's performance in this show was absolutely incredible, and he's just already my favorite Chinese actor. And Tian Shi-wei, she is the one that plays the girl. So we've got Zhang Ling-he and Tian Shi-wei as the main couple, and just her performance was also incredible. She is so good. And then the character Xian Tian, it's played by, I know it's Con something, which I am like, oh my god, now I hate myself for not remembering her name. It's like Con Ju something. I adore her as well. She is great. And then her partner, one of the evil dudes, Chi Min, which is played by Den Kai. Oh, you want to talk performance? Den Kai. Oh my god, I'm gonna get to him a little bit later because there's so many elements of this that I want to talk about. But I just adored this show and like every element, the cutesy element, the romance, the sword fighting. I just adored all of it. And the little girl, oh my god. Okay, so Tian Shi Wei plays our female main character, Fan Chan Yu, and she's got this little sister Chanin, and she's the cutest. She is just the cutest little girl. Oh my god. Okay, I should probably give you a rundown on characters first, and then I'll get into like thoughts and feelings, even though we've already started getting into thoughts and feelings. But we've got the main couple, which is Yang Zhen and Fan Chan Yu, and then she's got the younger sister Chan Nin, and then Chan Yu has a best friend Xian Xian, and she has a son, Bauer, and Nin and Bauer become friends, and that's like the cutest thing ever. Um, Zhen's got a best friend, Gosong, and I adore Gosong. Like I literally love him. He's probably my next favorite after Zhen. My three favorites of the men are Zhen, Gosan, and Min. Like they're my favorites. So you got the evil guy, Chi Min, who's the one that gets with Xian Xian. And then he's got a younger brother. I think it's Yun Xin. I'm pretty sure it's Yun Xin. So basically what goes on with Yun Xin, I'm pretty sure it's Yun Xin. So Yun Xin had an older brother, Yun Huai. So it's Yun Xin and Yun Huai. So the real Yun Huai died, but Yun Sin never found out about that. And so what they did is they brought Chi Min in. So Chi Min is actually Yun Sin's cousin, um, but he kind of looked like Yun Hai a little bit. So like basically Yun Sin thinks that Chi Min is Yun Hai. And thinks they're actually brothers, even though he's like a foster brother, actually, and like technically his cousin. It's a thing. It's a thing. And then Chancellor Wei is a prominent character. We have Grand Tutor Lee, who is the grandfather of Lord Lee. Lord Lee is another very prominent character. And Grand Tutor Tao is another prominent character. We also have what halfway through the show becomes known as the Pig Slaughtering Squad, um, which I totally forget the names of them, so forgive me. I know three of them are like Mun something. It was like Mundi, Munkan, Manju or something, and then I know it's like Jin something for the fourth dude. It's Jin something, so forgive me. Anyways, they're also prominent, though I love the Pig Slaughtering Squad, honestly. Their friendship with Chan Yu is like absolutely beautiful. So they're and the Zhaos. So Chan Yu and Chan Nin are orphaned because their parents die, and they live next to these neighbors, the Zhaos, and they basically kind of take them in, help them out, look after them, give them food and stuff like that. So I love the Zhaos for that because they're beautiful people. So I think that's most of our oh no no no. There's also the Grand Princess, that is Gosan's love interest. Um, and we also have the like emperor of everything. So the Grand Princess has a brother whose name is, I'm pretty sure it's Shen, something along those lines. And he's the emperor king, so he's like the ruler. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure that they are all of our most prominent characters. There are a couple of other little smaller minor characters, but these are like our main characters. So when I started watching this show, I kind of felt a way about it. I was like, oh, okay, so this is like the kind of show it's gonna be. So in the beginning it was like kind of cutesy. So Chan Yu saves Zhen because she trips over his foot. He's kind of left for dead in the snow, and is heavily injured. Chan Yu saves him, brings him to her home, and there so Chan Yu and like the Zhaos, they help, like they save him, they give him shelter, they give him medicine and stuff like that, and Zhen is very grateful for this, of course. um what Chan Yu does not know is that Zhen has decided to keep his identity hidden. He needs to lay low, because I think that Zhen's a perfect man, except for the fact that he did kind of hide his identity from her. But like, I also think that he had valid reason to, because Because in his mind, he'd go, I tell Chen Yu who I really am, and then, like, she might start treating me differently and stuff like that. And he enjoys the way he's currently being treated, just kind of like a normal everyday person. So they live in this town called Lin An, and Chen Yu is a pig butcherer because her father was a pig butcherer. He taught her how to be a pig butcherer, and so now she's a pig butcherer because, like I did mention earlier, her parents passed away. So how she makes a living for herself and her younger sister is by butchering pigs and then selling the offcuts, selling the pig, pork belly, even like selling the offal and stuff like that. Obviously keeping a little bit to make food so that her and her sister can eat, but then like she sells the rest of it. That's how she makes money. That's like their cute little life. She's got a stall where she sells pig in like the little town square. Like, it's the whole vibe. It's cute. And so Zhen comes into that, and they enter into a marriage of convenience because Chen Yu's got this weird uncle who's a bit of a gambler. And so the Pig Butcher Squad, who aren't known as the Pig Butcher Squad in the beginning of the show, but I'm just going to refer to them as that for the entirety of this portion of the video where I'm chatting about this show. So, just so you know that I'm talking about like these 4 dudes, right? So the pig butchering squad, they're not good in the beginning. They're like, okay, well, we're going to take the house away from Chan Yu, and things like that. But like Chan Yu is like a strong female lead. She can take care of herself. She knows how to throw a good punch sort of vibes. So no one ever actually ends up taking Chen Yu's house, but people try. But it also just turns out being a good idea for Zhen and Chen Yu to enter into like a marriage of convenience. So that's what they do, because there's benefits to Chen Yu for entering this. There's even benefits to Zhen for entering this. Zhen had his travel papers stolen from him. So marrying Chen Yu would stop him from being known as a refugee. And Chan Yu entering into this marriage of convenience would stop the house being taken from her. So they enter into a marriage of convenience. And it's just them living like their cute little life together. And that's how you think the beginning of the show is going. And honestly, the show is on the cutesier side for the first like 16 episodes, I believe. You do get some like here and there, like, oh, something deep is going on, but it's pretty cutesy for the first like 16 episodes. You get like 1 or 2 little battle scenes because they get chased by bandits once, and then even Jen, like, after he's healed, he gets injured again, and has to be nursed back to health again. Chan Yu and Jen begin forming like their actual relationship on, building their connection and stuff like that, because it is a romance television show. He starts falling for her, she starts falling for him. Then episode 17, and everything changes. The town of La In is massacred, and Zhen is called back to camp, because I have been keeping this from you all as well, because he's actually got a couple of different names. So he tells Chan Yu that his name is Yang Zhen. His real name is Zi Zhen, but he's also known as Ouyang Ho, which translates to the Marquis of Ouyang, which, like, that's very, very high ranking. He's a very, very high ranked general at this camp. He basically has final word and final say on decisions. So he is a very high up individual, and that's why he didn't really want to tell Chen Yu who he was, because didn't want to start getting treated differently, or I don't know, maybe, who knows, like she'd start asking for money, maybe. I don't know really what was going on through Jan's head. And the show kind of takes a turn and gets more action packed and stuff like that. And then there's quarrels between the main couple because Chen Yu's like, eventually Chen Yu does find out who Zhen really is, and then she's a bit like, how dare you keep this from me, and stuff like that. And then you've got 2 other couples. So you've got Chi Min and Xian Xian. So Bao is Chi Min's son, but Chi Min doesn't want to recognize him at all. Chi Min is like ill growth. Chi Min is one of those, he's so obsessed with Xian Xian that he's jealous of a child taking away time that Xian Xian could be spending with him, but she's spending it with Bao, her son. Like, that's how obsessed Chi Min is, that he's jealous of a child. So he doesn't like acknowledging Bauer as his son. He's like, ew, gross. Like, don't talk about him. Sort of. That's Chi Min. But Chi Min's also very, very evil. Like, I was watching a scene where a woman came in and I think she tripped over something and she spilt the tea. He had her killed for that. Because she tripped over and spilt tea. He had her killed for that. Like, the man is scary. Okay, Chi Min, I gotta say this. I've been telling everyone this because everyone just needs to know. Okay, I don't get scared by TV show characters. Like, genuinely scared by television show characters because I'm like, it's a television show character. It's fake. Right? So, I'm not saying that they're not scary people, but I'm not sitting here, like, scared. Like, I'm watching telly. It's fake. It's whatever. Tell me why. I was weirdly, kind of actually, genuinely scared by Chi Min. Like, Chi Min would look, that look he gives to the camera, and I would just sit there and I'd go, okay, why am I afraid right now? And I'm like, it's just a television show. It's just, he's a TV character. But I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I'm kind of afraid of this man. I also think he's incredibly hot. So, I was afraid of him, but I was also like, he could do whatever he wanted to me, and I'd be fine with that. But, like, all of my favorites, Zhen could do whatever he wanted to me, Gosung could do whatever he wanted to me, I'd just be down. But we're not going to go down that path. That's just me saying that I think that some Chinese actors are very hot, let's be real. But I was just sitting there and was like, oh my god, why am I kind of afraid of this man? And Xian Xian is captured by Chi Min. And at first it's like, oh, you can't keep me here, but then he threatens to hurt Bao, and she goes, oh, okay, so there is one way that you can keep me here. If I stay with you, you're gonna leave Bao alone. And then you got Gosung and Shu, who is the Grand Princess. But Shu, I don't know if she loves being the Grand... Oh, does she love being the Grand Princess? Because in the beginning, she is studying at this college, which is where she meets Gosung, and they start falling in love. But it doesn't really go anywhere because the mum's like got someone else planned for her to be with because she's like royal. So like I think the parents are like, we're probably gonna arrange you with someone. I think that's what's going on. Like she can't be with Gosung. Her parents would never approve of Gosung. But she goes undercover again because at the training camp, she's there as a physician. She wants to be a doctor. Like she's not there. She's like, don't treat me like the Grand Princess. I'm not the Grand Princess here. I am just a physician here. Like, please I'm just a doctor. Treat me as such. And she meets Gosan again. And obviously Gosan knows that she's the Grand Princess, but and they kind of start falling in love again. Their relationship is so pure and just, I adore them. I love them. Even though the physician, the Grand Princess's character did annoy me at times. I admit, like, she's my least favorite of the female leads, but like, I didn't hate her or anything. Like, I liked it. And, like, she works really well with Gosong, and I love their relationship. But, like, at times I was a bit like, like, you're kind of annoying. Let's go back to Chan Yu, or let's go back to Xian Xian. But, it wasn't that bad. But this show was just so good. Like, it just had so much heart. And the found family that Chan Yu finds, with Zhen and Xian Xian and the pig butchering squad, and just... and the Zhaos, and Grand Tutor Tao becoming her adoptive father. I was like, I'm crying, okay? Because Oh my god, I can't even. I was like, it's so like this show was just so beautiful to me. I literally didn't want to do anything else. Like I would just be like living my day-to-day life and I would just sit there and go, "Can I go home?" because I just want to sit on my ass and watch Pursuit of Jade. I didn't want to watch anything else. I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to participate in any other hobby. All I wanted to do was sit and watch Pursuit of Jade because that is just how obsessed I became with the show. I'm still obsessed with it. I've gotten a bunch of friends onto it now. I'm re-watching it with my boyfriend because I like need my boyfriend to be obsessed and he kind of already is. So, I love that for him. Um and just like it's just so good. Like the action packed sword fighting scenes are so good and the romance is so good. Even like the little like the smutty scenes, it's nothing like a Thai show, but what we get is still pretty darn good and I'm here for it. Like I love a good bathtub scene and I'm just gonna leave it there. But all I'm gonna say, Xian Xian and Chi Min have a bathtub scene. Zhen and Chan Yu, they have a bathtub scene. And it's worth the watch. But I just loved it. The only character I really, I guess, hated, I really hated Grand Tutor Lee and Chancellor Wei. Like, I could not stand them. Oh, and I totally forget this character's name, but I also couldn't stand this character. It's the direct servant of the Emperor, and it's actually a character that Zhen cuts an ear off of because he gets really pissed at him and just decides to cut off one of his ears. But I forget his name, but like I couldn't stand him either. Um, I haven't really mentioned much about Lordly. This is the thing about Lordly. Lordly was kind of teetering on being good and bad. Because you think it's pretty predominantly good, but then you see him and Chi Min in a scene together, and you're just like, oh. But it's mainly because of Grand Tutor Lee, because Grand Tutor Lee is very like, or Chi Min should be emperor, like he knows how to run the country, blah blah blah. So Lord Lee doesn't have a ton of choice. He's very like, he listens to his grandfather and what his grandfather says goes kind of vibe. um it's just it's so good. Like, oh my god, I'm just obsessed with this show. Like, I still think about it and it's over. But I just fell in love with it. Like I said, I didn't really want to do anything else. I just wanted to sit and I wanted to watch this show. And like, yeah, you get happy endings. But like you go through so much trauma to get there. But it's worth the watch. It's so good. And then you get the happy ending and just, oh my god. Like, oh my god, one of the most, like, and you want to talk another scene that made me cry? Chan Yu and Zhen are chatting. It's when they're kind of in quarrel with each other. Like, Chan Yu kind of wants nothing to do with Zhen because Zhen was like hiding his identity from her. But they're like chatting after they just speared some fish, and she's like, was all of it a lie kind of vibes, and he's just like, God no. And you want to know what? I don't remember the line verbatim, but he something along the lines of he goes like the time in Linan, like I miss it dearly. Like I just wish we could go back to Linan. Um, like back when the episodes were like cutesy. Basically, he was like, "Yeah, Linan, I miss it dearly," and I was like, "Oh, like oh my god!" I was just like, "You can't do that to me." Like, oh, it's just you even start feeling for the evil characters, even though they're evil. Like, there's just stuff that goes on with the Sui brothers and just I'm just like you weirdly feel for them even though they're evil. And it's hard to describe because it's like why they're evil. It's like no, because they had so much trauma in their childhood, so like you just I don't know, like you kind of start feeling weirdly sorry for them. I think you pity them a little bit, kind of in a cute way, but then you kind of got to like snap yourself out of it because it's like, well no, they're evil. You have to snap yourself out of it because they're evil. But I love it. I absolutely loved it. And Gosung brought the like comic relief to the show. Like, okay, one of my favorite scenes. I loved this so much. So, Jen is riding in on a horse. He's like, come back to camp. Everyone's like chanting his name, like, "Oo Yang Ha, Oo Yang Ha, Oo Yang Ha," like that. Like they're just like chanting for him. And Gosung's like walking next to his horse. It is so funny. So basically, he's riding in on a horse and he's got a bruise on his face and a tiny bit of blood on his lip because Chanyu and him had a fight. She slapped him. It's a whole thing. And so he's riding in with love scars. And Gosung, basically, he gets off his horse and Gosung goes, "Did she slap you?" Like, oh my god, like the comic relief that Gosung brings. And honestly, it's kind of needed because this show does get a little heavy in the second half. So it's good to have Gosung there to just be like, "Did she slap you? What'd you do? Hey, how'd you piss her off this time?" Like, I just started pissing myself laughing because it was so funny. And then you have Jen that just goes, "Shut up," and he's like, tough crowd. Like, I just love Gosung dearly, okay? Like, my second favorite. Jen's my number one because yeah, I need a young Zhen. Everyone needs a man like young Zhen, okay? But if you can't get yourself a young Zhen, I would happily settle for a Gosung, okay? I'll take Gosung because I love him as well. But Zhen, I loved Zhen was just so he's stoic and but like he's confident and like in himself. You know, like he's a protector. Like, oh, and honestly, the scenes when he was injured, I think it's a thing like women love an injured man, and I'm like, yeah, I think so. Because I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and I was like, oh, like it's a thing like women like injured men, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely one of those women. Let me tell you. But just please watch Pursuit of Jade. It is so incredibly worth the watch. Like like and 1,000,000 out of 10, 1,000,000 stars. I'm obsessed. Also, quickly, just want to give a spoiler warning because I am most likely going to spoil stuff about these shows. Let's change the pace and switch it up a bit and talk about a couple of the Thai BLs that I've got going on rotation. So, first of all, Love Upon a Time. I am 8 episodes in. There are 12 episodes in total, so I've got 4 left. The show is finished now, so I can binge the final 4 episodes whenever I feel like it. I was very watching Love Upon a Time quite heavily until I just decided one day to take the tiniest break to watch an episode of Pursuit of Jade and see what I think because I'd seen so many good reviews online, and then I just became obsessed and I totally just kind of forgot to finish Love Upon a Time. But I plan to because I'm obsessed with this show as well. It's so good. This is Net JJ, who are a pairing from a company called Damundi. This is their first show together, but they're solidifying themselves as a pairing of Damundi. They've got a new show coming out that was released and spoken about in the 2026 Damundi lineup showcase thing that they did. This is not a first lead role for Net, but it is like for JJ. Net used to be paired with a guy called James, but then Net James split, I believe, because James wanted to do music more than he wanted to act. So now the pairing is Net JJ, and I'm getting a little off topic. Anyways, Love Upon a Time. This is another historical show, so whoop-de-doo. But this is Thailand historical instead of China historical. Anyways, so this one, I'll talk about characters and kind of give you a synopsis of the plot. I've watched, like I said, the first 8 episodes. I've got 4 more left, so I can't really spoil the ending. No one spoil the ending for me, please. I know I gave a spoiler warning earlier because I'm going to spoil stuff, but only for stuff that I have seen, not for stuff that I have not seen. So, you've got the main character, Nakun, and he lives in the modern world. And he's got these 2 friends, T and Pun, and they hang out or whatever. He goes to class one day, and the lady's kind of giving like this lecture about time travel and stuff. So like the university students, and like it's this whole lecture on time travel and stuff. And then after class, Nakun is somehow convinced to go see a fortune teller for some random reason. Anyways, this fortune teller is basically like, ooh, basically tells him he's going to travel back in time. But Nakun's not entirely sure if he really believes. He's a bit like, bitch, what are you taking? Like, he's like I didn't really come here off of my own free will. And so whatever. So he goes home. He thinks nothing of it. Whatever. He's chatting with his mum, but his mum's going out to a wedding. And so he pulls out a couple of drinks. He has a couple of drinks. He's a bit drunk. He's kind of just outside having a bit of a wander, whatever. I think if I remember correctly, he passes out because he's drunk. And he wakes up in the past. So he did indeed travel back in time, but he traveled so far back, but also kind of like as a different person that kind of looks like him. Because, I should say that Nakun is played by JJ, because you've got Pop, who is played by Net, keeps referring to Nakun as Clow. So basically, Nakun wakes up as this Clow guy because literally everyone around him is calling him Clow. And it's kind of got that goofy, funny element to this show because, like, it's not like Pursuit of Jade. It's not really anything, like, too serious about this. So Nakun wakes up, he's this Clow guy, and it's got the funny cutesy element to the show because he's like, oh, am I in a movie? And like, he doesn't, at first he's like, he doesn't believe his travel time. He thinks like, am I on a movie set right now? Like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. But like, no one really knows what he's saying. So like, he'd be like, oh, like, are we on a movie set? And they'd be like, what's a movie set? What is that? Like, is that proper is that proper English? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know what that is. And he's like, no, like, movie set. And they're just like, no, like, what's a movie set? Like, so it's very, he doesn't really believe that he's traveled in time. And he'd be like, no, my name's Nakun. And they'd be like, well, who the hell's Nakun? No, you're Clow. You're very well known. And Pop and Clow were childhood best friends. Now, I mentioned T and Pun before, because the side couple in this show is played by Kim Latte, because he sees T and Pun in this alternate back in time universe, but they've got different names as well. You've got, I think it's Gao and Latte's character, which I totally forget Latte's character's name. It's not coming to me. I'll plop it up on the screen. And so he's a physician in the old days. But basically, Nakun sees Pun, and it's like, oh my god, Pun, and he's like, oh my, like, who's Pun? My name is Gao. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a thing. And then he starts to realize, okay, so I have traveled back in time. People are referring to me as Clow, and I've become pretty okay at responding to that now. And things like that. And it kind of just goes from there. It's just like him living life and adjusting to a more historical lifestyle. Like, there are no modern snacks. There's no internet, no social media, no television or anything like that. It's like full on, like, back in the day, you get what I mean. And it's the love story between Clow and Pop. Also between the side couple as well. So, and I totally forget Kim and Latte's, like, they've got like a side couple love story. Anyways, it's mainly Net JJ though, because they're the main couple. And it was so fun and like refreshing because it was historical, but it was like silly and fun. Like, it wasn't like a serious sort of show. because it is meant to have that funny element of like him not really believing he's traveled back in time, but then it's like, oh wait, shit, I think I may have like actually traveled back in time. Whoa. And then he has to like adjust his lifestyle because he is worried like, oh, am I ever gonna go back to the modern world? Or like, I kind of want to go back to the modern world. But then he also says like, oh, but I could actually maybe kind of get used to more of a simple lifestyle. And he starts falling for Pop, and then gets a bit like, oh, but I don't want to leave Pop because I'm like falling for Pop and I'm having sex with Pop and I'm like in love with Pop. And I think Pop's also in love with me and things like that. And it's just such a cute little show. Like, it's got its serious moments here or there, but it's not like Pursuit of Jade. Like, it's more cutesy, just fun. Like, I would recommend this as a fun like palette cleanser show. If you're like me and love a dark, gritty plotline and you just want something like fun, just to like, let me recover from something heavy, like this is such a good watch. And Demundi have really hot scenes, don't you worry. So there's those to look forward to as well when it comes to like the relationship between Cleo and Pop. Demundi are quite well known for those. Thailand in general are just quite well known for those. Like if you want a show with spice, Thailand's the country you want to go for. I adore something like Love Upon a Time just as much as I adore something like Pursuit of Jade, but like Love Upon a Time is 10 times spicier than Pursuit of Jade. But I loved Love Upon a Time. It's such a fun, cute little show. I've still got the final 4 episodes to watch, but I am loving it so far. Next, I want to talk about a much older show that I'm only like just now getting to. So, Love Mechanics. I am 7 episodes in. There are 10 episodes, so I've only got the last 3 left. This is an older show, I believe. This came out either 2024 or 2023. This is a Yin show. Now, I adore Yin because I watched them in Jack and Joker, which was a newer show that they did. I found out about Yin and War through Jack and Joker, which at the time was like their recent show. It was a thing. I watched it, became obsessed with them, and I've been wanting to watch Love Mechanics for a while, but I don't know, I couldn't find it anywhere to watch, but then I finally found it, so I started watching it. I've watched the first 7. I've got 3 left. I'm absolutely loving it so far, but this is also great for people that want a Thai BL that maybe doesn't have a lot of spice, because this one is definitely a lot tamer than Love Upon a Time. This one's a modern show, so this follows Mark and V. So War plays Mark and Yin plays V. So V's actually dating a girl, and she lives in this little apartment, and Mark is her neighbor. So they kind of all know each other, sort of thing. Mark's like, I think, a year or 2 younger than V is. In the beginning of the show, Mark's got this massive crush on this guy called Bass and like wants to be with him, but Bass has a crush on somebody else, so that like falls through because Bass makes this big show of like, asking the guy that he wants out. And so Mark's like down in the dumps and depressed about it. And like V is kind of just like, oh, like, you okay, sort of thing. And then I think Mark maybe becomes like attached to him slightly. Not to say that I I feel like Mark does fall for V and V does fall for Mark, but the beginnings of their relationship is not the world's most healthy. Like, this isn't really, like, I wouldn't say that this is a good healthy show. There is heavy like drama. Like, this is very, very, very drama filled, because in the beginning Mark starts falling for V, but V's still dating that girl. And V doesn't want to break up with the girl because V likes that girl, but also it's a bit of a like mindfuck because V's like, well, no, I'm straight, I'm dating this girl. And so he breaks it off with the girl when it's found out that the girl is cheating on him. So they break up, and then V does get with Mark, but V doesn't want Mark to tell anyone. So Mark wants to like shout from the rooftop, but V's like, "Can we keep it on the down low? Like, I'm not really ready to come out of the closet yet. You're the first boy I've ever kissed. You're the first boy I've ever done sexual things with." I think it's also a first for Mark, but Mark's like always wanted to do it with a dude, where like previously V'd been doing it with his girlfriend. So, um, but there's just so much drama because then you got a side character Noah who has a thing for Mark. And then it creates tension because V will get jealous whenever Noah and Mark are like hanging out. But Mark doesn't really know what, like, Mark kind of knows that Noah has a thing for him, and like Noah's like, "Oh, I have a thing for you," and then Mark's like, "I kind of only see us as friends, and so I'm gonna really need you to like stop because I only see you as a friend." But then every time they would kind of hang out or whatever, V would just get like insanely jealous. But like you couldn't really say much because like V's not ready to come out of the closet yet. But also I worry for Mark because I think Mark has definitely got to be a character that's got some form of like depression or like I don't really know what you would call it. Like was it bipolar or something? Anyways, one of the side characters, one of Mark's mates, like towards the beginning of the show, I think if I remember correctly, it was when Bus made his confession to the other dude that he wanted, back when Mark had a thing for Bass, and his um V was chatting with his friend. And it's like, so what? Like he didn't get the guy he wants, like whatever. And like the friend just goes, "Oh no, like last time something like this happened, Mark just took like a handful of sleeping pills and hoped for the worst." And it was like, oh shit, like the man, like Mark needs help. He needs professional help. V could also do with some professional. You know what, the show I was watching and I was like, y'all need therapy, like certified therapy. But like, I'm only 7 episodes in, so you never know. But so far, there has been no therapy appointment, and they desperately need one. But it's just so, like, it's drama and it's messy, but it's like also sad and just like I'm really enjoying it so far. Like, I've only got 3 episodes left. I just get in the middle of so many shows because I've also got shows that are coming out like one a week, which I'll get to those. Like I'm in the middle, like the amount of type BLs that I'm like in the middle of, like there's just so many of them that I'm in the middle of, which is why I've got quite a few where I'm like a couple of episodes in, but I've not like finished it. Like I find it difficult sometimes with the BL drama to just watch one in completion and not maybe switch it out with a different one every now and then, because it's like dependent on my mood, because like Love Mechanics can get a little sad, so I'm not always in the mood for that, so but I do think that Love Mechanics is worth the watch. Um, I'm liking it so far. As I said, I've got a little bit more to go. Noah is slightly annoying just because he doesn't really know how to take no for an answer, but he's not done anything too creepy just yet. Like he's yet to do something that makes me truly hate the man. So there's not much that I could say on that. But I like this show. It's so good. Honestly, it's so good. I feel like if you like Only Friends, you'll like Love Mechanics. Love Mechanics is a little sadder and less spicier than Only Friends, but it still gives that like messy drama filled. So if you're an Only Friends lover, you are going to love Mechanics. Let's go back to China. Now, this is actually one of my current shows that I'm like actively watching. I mean, I'm actively watching like most of these, but like I was watching episodes of this literally yesterday. So I started Love Between Fairy and Devil. So this is more of a historical fantasy show, still says it's action-packed, even though I don't think it's anywhere near as action-packed as Pursuit of Jade. And romance, of course. Now, this is Dylan Wang, SDU, and my main man, Zhang He. Hello. So, Zhang He is the second male lead, though, because it actually stars Dylan Wang as the main male lead. And I do love me some Dylan Wang because, as I was talking about in the Pursuit of Jade section, I'd watched one other C-drama because Love Between Fairy and Devil is my third ever C-drama. I'm like new to C-dramas. Anyways, that first C-drama I watched was Meteor Garden with Dylan Wang in the starring role. So like I'd seen Dylan Wang before. So this show is very like actors I know before because it's Dylan Wang and Zhang Ling He and I'd seen them in previous shows. Anyways, I knew I really wanted to watch something else that Zhang Ling He had done because I became obsessed with him after watching City Jade. He's my favorite Chinese actor. So I wanted to watch something else he'd done, and I'd heard good things about Love Between Fairy and Devil. It's 36 episodes. I've watched 13 of them. And I'd heard good things about it. I heard that it's like Zhang Ling He's like breakout role. So not like his first ever role, but like the role that made people go, oh, okay. Zhang Ling He's definitely one to watch. Like he's like, oh, like he's getting pretty good. I'm pretty sure Dylan already had a name made for himself, but like, anyways. So this is like historical, but it's got like it's got a fantasy element to it. So Esther Yu plays Orchid. And so Orchid is like a fairy, but she's also a literal plant. She is an orchid flower plant that has been given a human form. So she's like a little orchid fairy thing. And like this is going to be a little hard to describe because I don't remember all the ins and outs of the fantasy elements to this, but she lives in Arbiter Hall, where she goes through, they're called destiny books, and every person ever has one, and it's like your fate, your destiny, sort of like a prophecy for you kind of thing. She manages those and looks after those and things like that, and she loves like watering her plants in the free time and things like she green thumb and whatever else, living her cute little life. She's not well liked among other fairies because she's like the opposite of Chan Yu, because I was saying that Chan Yu's like a strong female lead. I feel like Orchid's a bit more like she's timid. She's kind of like the I need rescuing sort of character. Then you have Dylan Wang's character, Dong Fan Sinkan, or I don't fully, I may not be the world's best at pronouncing things, so forgive me. Anyways, he's basically like the world's most like evil crime lord, and he'd been trapped in prison for like 30,000 years. And Zhang Ling He and like his master, they're like performing a spell to, I think, like up the protection of the prison, of like the fairy immortal prison. And Orchid goes there. I don't fully remember why, but I do know that Orchid has a massive crush on Zhang Ling He's character, which is Lord Chen Yuan. She has a massive crush on Chen Yuan. And later you find out that Chen Yuan has like a huge crush on Orchid as well. But at the beginning, you don't know that. At the beginning, you know that Orchid likes Chen Yuan, but you don't know that Chen Yuan likes Orchid back. And somehow Orchid accidentally lands herself in prison. So she accidentally falls inside the prison while they're trying to fix it. Anyways, so she meets Dongfang Kinsan. Doesn't know it's Dongfang yet. Doesn't really know. She just thinks that he's some little immortal criminal, like, doesn't really know who Dongfang Kinsan is. He ends up escaping. Dongfang ends up escaping prison. But before, okay, no, I wasn't going to explain this, but I should explain this. So when they're trapped together in prison, they accidentally kiss each other. and then they swap bodies. And they're like, oh my God, like what's going on? And so they kiss again and they swap back. They know that they can swap bodies if they kiss if there's like lightning, because it doesn't work without lightning. So they switch back. But now Dongfar's son has like this, it's called the one heart curse. So basically she gets hurt, he gets hurt. She's sad. He's sad. She's crying. He's crying. She cuts herself. He cuts herself. You get where I'm going with this. So basically, they're like tethered together because it's literally, I think, if I remember correctly, Orchid's like, are you going to kill me? And Dongfan's basically like, I want nothing more right now than to kill you. But unfortunately, I cannot because, she cries, he cries. So, like, she dies, he dies. So, as much as he wants to kill her, unless he feels like dying as well, he's not killing her anytime soon. And in true dark romance fashion, this is what I kind of love Dylan Wang's character in this, because it's giving dark romance. And oh my God, I needed this man in like a dark romance role because I love it more than the character he played in Meteor Garden. I ended up falling for the second male lead in Meteor Garden anyway. Like, my friend was like, watch Meteor Garden, you're going to fall for Dylan Wang. I ended up falling for the second male lead instead. So, anyways, I'm going off topic. But, so good. Oh my God, the show is so, so good. He's basically like, oh, your body belongs to me, your breath belongs to me, I'm like, oh my God, basically the whole, like, I own you sort of thing. He didn't use the word own, but like, come on, we all know what he meant. And just, oh, so good. And then, so, Awkward hides him at Arbiter Hall, but she's worried because she tries to be like, oh my God, like, you need to turn yourself in, and he goes, yeah, right, like, turn myself in, good one, like, in a much scarier way, like there's not anything really cutesy or funny to Dongfa at all, so, and then they start somewhat a connection. I don't know, because I'm only 13 episodes in. I thought that they were somewhat building a connection, but part of Dongfan's backstory is he basically had all of his emotions surgically removed. So he no longer feels emotion. Because basically, so his like superpower, because it's a fantasy show, so he's got this superpower. It's called Hellfire. It is one of the strongest power elements. Actually, no, I think it is the strongest power element, and only two people can master the use of it. Dongfan and the person who created it. And I've basically found out, I think on like episode 12 or something, you basically find out that the only way to truly to 100% control and master Hellfire, you are not allowed to have weaknesses, you are not allowed to have emotions, which is why he had them surgically removed, or, though, actually, I don't know if he had his emotions removed willingly or not. Because his dad, I'm pretty sure his dad's the one that did the removing, I believe. So whether he wanted them removed or whether his father forced him to have them removed, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, he starts feeling emotion again, but he knows it's her emotion. Like, he's crying because she's crying. Like, if it weren't for her, like, he would not be crying. He's probably never cried a day in his entire life. And he's like, it's also known as the Moon Supreme Lord. So he's basically, there's this like dark place called the Canyon Sea, and he's like I don't want to use the word king, but I hope you get what I mean. Like, they all bow down to him, they serve him, they do whatever he wants. He's like the top guy. So he's basically like the king. But no one calls him that. They call him the Moon Supreme Lord. But like, basically, like, imagine like king. Like, he's weighted on hand and foot, and, he gets whatever he wants. He has final say, stuff like that. He sits on a throne. So, yeah, anyways. And so the story kind of goes from there. Orchid gets found out as a traitor, even though she's not a traitor, but she is framed kind of for that being a traitor. And so they want to lock her away, but Dylan Wayne comes in to save the day and takes her to his place, which is Canyon C. And so she's like I want to go home, I want to go home. But then he's like, well, no, because if you go anywhere near your home, they're going to find you and they're going to lock you up in prison for being a traitor. And then John Lin Her's character, this is when we find out like John Lin Her likes Orchid, because he's on a mission to find her and bring her home because he doesn't believe that she is a traitor. So he wants to save her and stuff like that. And it's definitely a little more on the cutesier side. It's cutesier than Pursuit of Jade was. And like, obviously, I'm loving it and I'm watching it. SDU, though, she has a very, very high pitched voice. So I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of SDU. Now, this isn't anything like against her, whatever. Like, she's pretty good, but like, I just think, like, like The Nanny, that old TV show, The Nanny with Fran Drescher? Like, you love The Nanny, but sometimes, like, her voice would just, like, oh my god, can you just shut up? Like, I feel like sometimes I feel that way with SDU, kind of. Like, I kind of just wanted to be like, oh, can you just shut up? Okay, like, and I don't mean that about because like The Nanny is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. Like, I adore The Nanny, so please, please. Um, but I love Zhang He and I love Dylan Wang, and they're definitely keeping me going. Like, the plot's a bit like it claims it's action packed. I'm hoping it's maybe more action packed, like the further we go in. But 13 episodes in, and there hasn't been like a ton of action just yet. There's definitely been more kissing than in Pursuit of Jade. But they kiss for different reasons. They always seem to like accidentally kiss each other, and then they kiss each other again when there's lightning. So they have to go 3 days swapped in each other's bodies until like because it's 3 days because Dylan Wang's character is basically like in 3 days there'll be lightning again. We can kiss and go back into our own bodies. Um, but I'm really liking it so far. I do. But like I get why somebody else wouldn't though. Like I've seen a couple of reviews online where they're like I dropped the drama, I couldn't do it. And I was like I feel like I get it. I'm like I'm loving it. So I'm continuing. But I so get why someone would drop. Like and yeah, I love it so far and it's good. Pursuit of Jade is better, and I would recommend Pursuit of Jade to more people. Love Between Fairy Devil definitely has its cringy moments a little bit, like I can admit, but I am obviously liking it, which is why I'm like continuing on and watching, and I want to watch the whole thing. Like I said, I'm only 13 episodes in, but I want to watch the whole thing because I'm adoring it, and it's like I think it's really good. But let me know down the comments. Well, actually, I'm probably just gonna save that for the end. But like, let me know what you're watching, if you are watching any of the things that I'm watching, and what are your thoughts and stuff like that. But yeah, I really like Love Between Fairy and Devil. Let's go back to Thai BL. Now, I've already been filming for an hour because I am a certified yapper and I literally have 4 more shows. Actually, I might only talk about 3 of them. I guess I had 4 more shows I wanted to talk about. One of them, I've watched most of it and I've only got like 2 episodes left. I'm thinking of maybe watching the final 2 episodes and then talking about it next time and having it be like a completed show. But I'm watching a lot of Thai BLs at the moment. So one that actually was one of my most anticipated shows, Crazy Love Moo, because that's Boss and Noel, and I adore Boss and Noel. They're one of my all-time favorite pairings. So I knew I wanted to talk about Crazy Love Moo, and just I'm adoring it so far. I got a little catching up to do because there are eight of the 10 episodes are out, but I've only seen 6 of them, so I do got to get on it. And I've heard that like, oh, just wait until I get to episode 8 apparently. But yeah, so I've watched the first six. So this is another cutesy, silly, haha, funny, stupid show. Um, but honestly, Boss Noel needed that because the other two shows they'd done had been like quite serious sort of shows. So this is like good for them to branch out, do something different, do something on the rom-com sort of side. You do get a couple of side couples and things like that. Hella spicy though. Like Me Mine Why can get pretty decently spicy. So warning you now, because I don't know how you guys feel about, sex on telly. So Noel plays Mumu and Boss plays Fu. So basically, I think Fu and Mumu grew up together, I believe. I could be wrong. Anyways, Mumu is trying to be one of those, like, I'm not really into you because Fu has had a crush on Mumu for like the longest time. But Mumu's like, ew, gross, no, like, I'm not into you. So Fu is a family of three. So he's got two younger brothers. And I think they're Thai Chinese. I believe that's what their characters are meant to be because Boss is not Chinese, but I think his character is meant to be like Thai Chinese. And so basically, Mumu is like, I'm not in to the fairest skinned. Like, I want a big, muscly, with a little bit of stubble Thai dude. Like, he wants, like, full on, he wants as Thai gets. Even though he lied to himself, but we're gonna get there. But Fu doesn't really know how to take no for an answer. Fu's very like, no, I'll make you like me one day. Like, it's kind of giving style from the Heart Killers where it's like, I'm just gonna wear you down until you say yes kind of vibes. Um, and also they always come in contact with each other because Mumu is friends with one of the brothers. So the middle brother. Mumu is friends with the middle brother. So all brothers get a love story because the middle brother gets a love story and the youngest brother gets a love story. So I don't so much care for the youngest brother's plotline, considering it's a high school plotline. But I like the other two because the middle brother's plotline, because he's in university, Mumu's in university. But Fu owns the Golden Peony Hotel, and a lot of the show is actually set at the hotel because Fu gets an intern job ship thing there. So he's working at the Golden Peony Hotel. Now I've just gotten to episode 6 where Fu and Mumu do finally get together. They do. They finally get together. We get the first kiss and they're snuggling up against each other on a boat and it's like the cutest thing ever, and like I loved that scene. But then you've got beef with I totally forget the character's name, but the actor is Kuhart. So Mumu and Kuhart are rivals. Um and so you've got some beef there. Also, Kuhart is the ex of the middle brother. Sorry, no, not the brother. No, I lie, not the brother. Kuhart is the ex of one of Mumu's friends. And so there's drama there as well. Because he's beefing with Mumu and he's beefing with his ex, and so he adds some flavor to the show, let me tell you. But I'm loving it so far. It's just, again, it's a palate cleanser show. Don't take it too seriously. It's not even taking itself too seriously. It's just silly, funny, goofy, haha, but also spice for days, my friend. So just, but like, I do believe the Boss Noel are like the kings of NC Spice. I happily give them that title because they understood the assignment and then decided to go above and beyond in every single acting project they've ever done. So, because this is Boss Noel's third show together, so. But I'm loving it so far. It's just so cute, and you get so many antics because Noel works at Boss's hotel. Mumu works at Fool's Hotel, and just I cannot wait for the final 4 episodes, to be completely honest, because I love the show. It's so cute. Sometimes I do get sad that like BLs don't get anywhere near as many episodes. Like the two C dramas that I'm watching right now are getting like close to 40 episodes, but Crazy Love Moo Moo has 10. It's only gonna get 10. So that's a little disappointing, but I just wished that sometimes I'm like, why can't a Thai show get like 40 episodes? Like why? Or even just like a K drama, give it 16 at least. A couple of shows came close, like Kim Porter's 14 episodes. But like, you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, why only like 10 or 12? Like, that kind of pisses me off about BL. Like, why only 10 or 12 episodes? Like, why? Um, because even straight Thai shows get more than that. Like, they're heavily targeting BL for some reason. Don't ask me why, I don't have an answer for you. But I'm just adoring Crazy Love Moo Moo. It's just so funny and silly, and I cannot wait to finish it. I'm also watching from GMM TV, but I'm only 3 episodes in. It's called A Dog on a Plane. This is Tay Nu. Now, they're one of GMM TV's oldest OG couples. Granted, this show is my first show of theirs that I am watching. Seen any of their other ones. I know they've done like Cherry Magic and a couple of others, but I just haven't watched them. I have only seen this one. I'm 3 episodes in. I've got a little bit of catching up to do because I know that there are 5 episodes out, but I've only watched the first 3, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. So Tay and Nu. So Nu is a flight attendant, air hostess, whatever you want to call it. He's kind of well off. And then you've got, well, they're both actually well off. One dresses a lot more like he's well off though. Oh, well, actually, I don't know if I'd say Tay is that well off, but like, I don't know. Anyways, Tay and 2 other side characters are EMT workers. So, like when you call for an ambulance, like they're most likely coming. But also he'll just do anything for money because in episode 2, he's a stripper. But he is like a literal EMT because there was a scene in episode 2 where like they're being strippy or whatever and they're like eating sushi off of their bodies. But the bride is allergic to I think shellfish, I believe. The bride's allergic to shellfish. So she eats a piece of sushi and there's shellfish in it and so she is going into anaphylactic shock. And the main guy is like, like he's like, "Ooh, like I know I'm a stripper right now, but I'm like literally, like genuinely I am an EMT. Like get back, put her on her side, do all the things." And Mon's one of the side characters and I adore that man and I love that and he's so hot and so all that good stuff. But basically Tay and Nu meet because they bump into each other at the airport and they've got like the same exact suitcase and they accidentally take each other's suitcase. And so basically recruits Tay to like help him catch his cheating boyfriend because Nu suspects that his boyfriend is cheating on him. So Tay's like, "Rightio, like I'll help you catch this dude or whatever." Because he owes a debt to Nu. So because Nu tried to press charges of like you stole my luggage and you were destroying the stuff that was inside it and then Tay's just like, "Well, you took my suitcase. You're literally wearing one of my shirts right now. Yet you're pressing charges." Right. Like, it's giving, make that make sense? And so, yeah, that's why Nu's like, "I want to recruit you to help me catch my cheating boyfriend. And then, I'd consider dropping the charges or whatever." Like, and so, yeah, Tay does. And, like, their bond, I guess, is going to form from there and stuff like that. Because like I said, I'm only 3 episodes in, but I do like it so far. This is another one, like, yeah, I'd say silly goofy. Not as bad. Like, Crazy Love Moo Moo is worse, but, like, worse as in, like, it's more. Like, you think A Dog on a Plane is silly, funny, goofy. Then you watch Crazy Love Moo Moo and you just go, oh, like, A Dog on a Plane is a serious show in comparison, and it's not even, like, that much of a serious show. But I really like it so far. I can't comment too much. I'm only 3 episodes in, but I really, really like it. Like, I genuinely really like it so far. Like, it's so good. Um, and, and now I'm like heavily getting into Tainu because, like, oh my god, it's just so, like, it's just so good. Like, I am loving it. It's so good. And I cannot wait to continue on. I need to. But like I did say, I'm in the middle of like so many shows. I have 3 other shows, but I'm not going to mention them today. I'll mention them next week because I've already been filming for over an hour. So I think we're just going to leave it at that so that the video doesn't go for too long. And I'll talk about those shows next time. And if I finish anything else, I'll talk about those as well. But that's like kind of what I've been watching right now. Trin's telly recap for this week. I'm going to try my best and do these weekly. But like forgive me if I do wait, I don't know, and do like a fortnightly one instead or something like that. Because life, I have a life outside of this YouTube channel. But that's it. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you're watching any of these shows. If you have watched any of these shows, what are your thoughts? Or if you're not watching, like, what are you watching? If you're not watching these shows, what are you watching? Let me know. I'd be curious. I love television show recommendations, um, because they're so fun. And I love giving out TV show recommendations. Um, like Pursuit of Jade, I've been recommending that to everybody. Like, it's difficult. Like, I'm not always going to recommend BL to everyone, but just because I know that not everybody wants to watch, like, a gay love story, I'm into it. I'm hella into it. So, like, I'm watching, but I know it's not necessarily for everyone, but, like, I genuinely believe that Pursuit of Jade can be for anyone. Like, I feel like it gets the girls for the romance and stuff, but then it gets the boys for the sword fighting and stuff like that. Yeah, but that is it. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy yourself, please consider leaving a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you love a good television show just as much as me. I'm going to try and have this be weekly. Forgive me if I miss one though. But yep, that's it from Trin's Telly Recap, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.